Hey guys, this is Naveen here. Welcome back to Naveen Automation Labs and back to our karate series. So today we are going to talk about how to hit a post call, how to write a post call in karate. So I have one post call and then we will see. So we will go back to this same application where gorest.co.in, and here you can see this is a post call here, and you can hit this URL and you can create a user actually, and you can see this is for creating a new user, right? So how to do this? So this is a URL, and first we will hit the same thing in the Postman. So select the post over here, and this is a service URL that we are using it, and along with that we have to pass a JSON body. So this is a JSON body, for example, that I'm passing. So these are the required attributes in your JSON that you have to pass. And for example, let's see, forget about ID is not needed. I'm passing some different name this time. Let's see, I'm passing Tom, and the email ID I'm passing Tom @gmail.com, gender male, status active. And then along with that, remember, when you pass without authorization, it will give you error. So see, I'm not selecting the authorization and then passing the JSON body. You can select the JSON body from here, and then when you hit this, it's giving you one error, 401 unauthorized. It means your authentication failed here. So for all the post call and the put call, you need to pass the authorization. So what you have to do is select this authorization and then write authorization over here and add your bearer token. So this token, you will be getting it from here. So see this, click here to get your access token. So you just click on it and then copy this particular token and then you paste it here. Okay, after bearer there is a space and then paste it here, and now you send this request. So when you send this request here, you can see we are getting 201 created. So 201 is the status code. From the response we are getting 201 means that the request has been fulfilled and the new resource has been created. And here in the response we are getting this particular data. It means the data got created, the user got created, where ID will be created at the server side automatically with some number 2259, and whatever the data that we have passed, Tom and its email ID, gender, status and everything, you can check it over here. And now if you really want to fetch the same 2259 in the get call, so you can check that. Maybe we can have this get call over here. So I'll do one thing. See, this is the this is a get call. I can use it here, 2259, and we will see the same data am I getting or not. So here you can see same data, you are getting it over here as well. Perfect. Now let's see how to call this post call now. So in karate, what we have to do, we have to create a feature file. So I'll do one thing, that I'm going to create another feature file. So right click, new, and create a file, and my file name is, for example, let's see, this is my post call. So I'll write post API.feature. Okay, I'm deliberately giving some name like this so that you will, when you see the code, you will understand that why this feature file is all about. And then what we have to do, we have to quickly create a feature. Let's see, and let's see, the feature name is create user using a post API, something like this. And then I'm going to use one feature in Cucumber, that is the background feature, because I'll tell you what do you mean by background. Background is just like we have some preconditions which will be executed before each and every scenario. So in that case, we can use the background feature here. So background keyword, you can write it here like this, and then you can pass that a URL here, that my URL is what. So the URL is this. Okay, so this is my URL. I can take it from the Postman, and then this is my complete URL. I can copy and then you paste it over here, right? And then you have to define that what exactly the payload that you have to pass, because this is the body response payload that you have to pass it over here, right? This one. So I'll just copy this and I'll just use it over here with the variable here. So let's see, this is my body payload like this, or you can say my response request payload, you can say that. So better name, let me write the request payload. Okay, this is a nice name that we are giving, equal to, and then I told you have to use 3 operators like this, right? And then starting body and ending body, I mean, just paste your JSON object over here like this. Okay, so this will behave like a complete string. So you have to write these 3 double quotes here and then end it over here like that. Okay, so this will become what? This will become my variable request payload, and I'll be using the same request payload variable in my scenario. So this is a background that I have created. Now I'm going to use a scenario here, and my scenario is that let's see, create a user with the given data, something like this. Okay, this is the scenario, and after that I have to start writing my given. So I can directly write the given, and then you can directly write the path over here. So let's see the path. See, this is my service URL, the base URL, right? The base URL, you can pick it from the config.js file also, that also you can do that. So I'll do one thing, I'll just remove this complete path URL from here, just cut it, and then you paste it over here like this in single quote like this. So what will happen, because I don't want to append this, because tomorrow you want to write some get scenario or some other scenario. So after this, maybe the service URL will be changed in that case. So better you write this is your base URL, and after that, whatever the service URL that you want to use it in the form of path variable or path URL, you can use it here like this. So this is always a good practice instead of writing the complete URL over here. So this IN GoRest.co.in automatically will be appended over here. Okay, so you have to write a path here like this. And then you have to what? And then you have to add a request here. So you simply write a request with what? Request with this particular payload. So this is a payload body that we have added. See, same thing exactly we did in the Postman also. You have to create a request first. So we have to add a body. This is a post call. This is the URL, and this is the body. And then we have to add what after that? We have to add a header also. So see, and then I'm going to add an header. That okay, header. Right now, let's say I'm just using only one header, that is authorization in Karate, and we have already seen that how to add the header. Authorization is equal to what? In single quote, I have to write a bearer and then plus the token ID. So if you remember that config.js file that we have used, right? The token ID, I can use it from here. So I copy this token ID and then paste it here. And then I'll update my token ID in my config.js file also. So this is the new token ID that I'm using it today. And I'll do one thing. I'll go to my karate config.js and then you simple update your token ID here. Perfect. I think same token ID here. And then the bearer, and then put a space over here like this. Otherwise it will be appended without a space. Remember this thing. And once the header is done, then what kind of call it is. So I'll simply say, okay, fine. This is my when. What kind of call? This is the method. It is a post call. So I'll be writing a post over here, right? And then that's it. And then I'll be verifying the status. The status should be a 201, not 200, because in post call, whenever the user or resource is getting created, server will send you 201 response code here. And then I can write some assertion with the end also. So I can simply write a match here, and then I can validate the data from the response object. So what is the response that we are getting? See the response we are getting here. So let me just do one thing. Okay, so we are getting this response from the data. Okay, so data.id name, something like this, I can use it. So I can say, okay, fine, see, match $, data.id is equal to data ID should be present. I really don't know what exactly the number is there. Some number should be there. So I can simply write present over here, hash present. It's a existing matching keyword to validate or to write the assertion to validate that, okay, that particular ID attribute or any specific value is available, present or not, like this. Okay. And then I can write other things as well. So let's see, I simply write data.id, and then I can write data.name is also present. And then I can verify that data.name is equal to what? It should be equal to whatever the data that you have created. This guy, Tom should be there or not, right? If you really want to validate its email ID or something like this, that also you can verify that. So let's see, I'm going to verify its email ID also. So let's see the email ID tom@gmail.com. Okay, see this, right? So, and then that's it. So one thing you need to understand that, see, this data is already created with tom@gmail.com. When you hit this API once again, so what will happen? See this, I'm going to hit it once again, and then you send the request, and then it's saying this email ID is already taken. So every time you have to change its email ID. See this carefully. So let's say I'm writing tom11@gmail.com, and then you send, then again the data got created here. So same thing, Tom, we have already used. So let's say I'm writing tom21@gmail.com, and later on we can just customize this also. We can just take the dynamic email IDs also in upcoming chapters. I'll show you how to do that. Okay, and that's it. So this is the complete post call is created. Dollar. See my mistake. I have missed one dot here. So I have to write dot here, guys. Okay, don't forget to write this. So that was okay, the typo. So $.data.id you have to use. Okay, so shall we run it again? So this time let's say I'm writing 22 because 21 is already used now. Now save it and let's run it again. This time it should be passed. Okay, no, again one failure. Let's see. It's good that okay, we are checking the failure. It's saying tom@gmail.com. Obviously we have to verify with the tom22, but 22 is again created. So let's see 23, and then I'm validating with tom23. This is just a data issue. So what we can do is here, that is the email attribute, we have to use it. Good that we are doing these silly mistakes, no worries. And now let's run it again with tom24, and then this should be validated with the tom24 once again. Okay, so let's run it again. This time it should pass. Absolutely working fine. Finally it got passed here, zero failure, passed one. And now you can validate the same thing here, tom24@gmail.com. Absolutely working fine. You can see the data. Right guys? So this is what when the method post, and it will give you the complete logs over here. This is the request payload that we are passing. This is the service URL that we are giving. And these are the header information. And then finally we get 201. And then we are validating the response data from here like this. So likewise, you can create n number of requests like this, and then that's it. So here we have to maintain this particular payload like this. Later on, I'll show you that how to maintain the payload in some different file, because right now this payload is very simple, only 4 attributes are available. And then I'll show you in upcoming chapters that how to validate with the get call also, because how will you validate this user is correctly created or not? So what we will do that in the next call, I'll show you the API chaining also here, because in the next video, I'll show you this user 2263 got created with the ID of this, and then we will hit the get call also in the same scenario, or we can create one more scenario here. And then we will execute end to end. First create a user and validate the same user that you have created. So from this user, we have to fetch data.id, store in some variable, and use the same variable in your get call. You also try, but I'll show you that thing in the next video. Slightly different topic, but we will do in the next video. So this is about the post call. You can use it and let me know if you have any issues with that. Thank you so much. Thanks for watching Naveen Automation Labs. I hope you are liking this karate thing. A lot of good things are coming. Please have some patience. A lot of good things are coming on karate, and we will do it very properly with respect to framework designing and everything. Thank you so much, guys.